Thank you again for listening to the Soul Space. And before we move forward, I would like to introduce you to my new Kabbalistic reading of the auric field. It can be compared to a magnetic resonance of the soul, so it offers a broad vision and deepens the process of self-knowledge, allowing you to observe your own development from the soul level. And in this session, prior to our appointment, I will draw a pictogram of your electromagnetic field. And using my clairvoyance and my clairaudience abilities, this information obtained will be poured into the 10 dimensions of the psychological tree of life of the Kabbalah, which will be depicted in the form of a Star of David. And this reading, as I said, is a powerful tool of self knowledge, but it also acts as an anchor mechanism of the revealed energies in the pictogram. And it will continue to intuitively communicate to you how to reposition the unbalanced energies as it awakens the intuition and connects with the soul that guides you in the process of change. Of course, I will give you also a key. I mean, when we meet in our session, I will explain to you what I see in each of the dimensions. And this is the beauty of this session, is that the psychological tree of life of the Kabbalah gives us a solid structure, so we are able to place information in each of the different dimensions of life. And through all these keywords and color as well, we can integrate this information into our daily lives. So if you feel like this is something that you would like to experience, please send us an email at info@alumdavid.com or an instant message through Instagram at Soul Specialist. Hello and welcome to the Soul Space. Welcome to the October 2022 reading, intuitive reading. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for showing up again. It's been quite a long time since last time I did this in English. Life really got complicated for me in so many aspects. I moved back to my country of origin. So I also moved, I had to cross the Atlantic again. And well, but I'm back here and I hope to serve you well as usual. I hope that you find the information that I give you interesting and useful. So this month we have four themes that are important, and then we have also a new meditation that we are going to do for aligning ourselves to help us to take advantage of the energies of the month and really connect to what we need to move into a more centered space, so that the drama that we might see outside of our door, or maybe even in our personal lives, is less difficult. Okay, so our first theme is about we can hear everyone and a lot of astrologers and channelers and a lot of people talking about this month being a turning point. And indeed, it's really a point of no return. So the old world is no coming back. But at the same time, we have to understand that there's going to be two worlds coexisting at the same time. So the old world, the old paradigm of separation, and the possibility of living in grace and in unity will be coexisting. And so this is a new consciousness, of course, the consciousness of setting in as a choice, so that we can really choose to live in unity. We also could say that what will happen also from now on, for it looks like about 6 months, the choices are going to be more stark. So the contrast is going to be clearer. So it's going to be, in a way, easier to see which side or which choice are you making, but at the same time, it can be also more challenging to see the choices in front of us. So the choices are, of course, yes, you guess it, right? It's fear or love. Fear is the consciousness of separation that makes us suffer, that makes us feel alone, that makes us feel vulnerable, that makes us feel are that we don't deserve our life, that we don't deserve to be happy, that we are really cut off the source of all abundance as well, right? And joy. So and instead, when we feel love, when we are in love, uh, I mean, even if we are talking about a personal relationship, but especially now we're talking about the consciousness of love, the that wavelength of love, that makes us feel whole, that makes us feel abundant, that makes us know that we are safe. Um, so again, we are not talking about the romantic love. We are talking about that love that is about realizing of the connection, the undeniable connection that we have and with everything that exists, basically. And that behind the veil, we can just realize that we are all fragments and fractals of the same infinite source of wisdom, infinite source of light. Behind all the appearances, we know that we come from the same light, the same source, the same energy source. It is important to remember then, especially if you are feeling a bit um, nervous about the idea of some turning point or some change, um, you have to bear in mind that this is a choice that we can make or that we have to make sometimes every day, every minute. And sometimes I used to use this phrase, "What would love will do in this case?" Right, when I feel that I don't know exactly what to do or what is it really the best option. So what would love do in that case, in each case? Okay, so the second subject, the second theme is the relationship with your inner self, of our relationship with our inner self. And as we know in the structure of the tree of life, it is very important to understand and to establish a connection between our inner and outer selves. And it is through this connection that our soul can bring the seeds of our full potential into the expression, into action, into this world, so that it's revealed. So basically, the purpose of our life is always revealing more and more light as much as we can, as much as we are able to. And it is through this relationship, the relationship between our external self, so that which is living in the world and has a role, and our inner self, that we can also escape the prison of having maybe only all of our attention in the outer self, no, in the appearances, in what is expected from us. So in October, we will find that we are pulled inwards to recognize, to reestablish, or to simply nurture that connection so we are less concerned about what is or what it seems to be real. So what is presented in front of us as like what is presented also as choices in life. Also because there's a big tendency in the media to present a certain limited, very limited amount of choices. So the only way that we will find a way not to be rocked off by the events that are going outside is to really try to 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 go inside, to connect to that part of us, to that inner self that is connected directly to our soul, so we can be stable and centered. So, for instance, have you noticed when people are um, extremely busy with with nurturing just the outer self, they tend to be uh, they tend to be quite detached or disconnected from their emotions. And when they live mostly in their and they live mostly in their heads, and when they are basically connected, so people tend to also nurture their inner selves, right? So that's why we are suggesting you in this case that um, the easiest way to connect with your inner self is through emotions, through these moments where we can connect, that we can feel. Um, um, then we can also allow inspiration to enter. We can do that also through meditation, but depends also on how what kind of person you are. So for some people, meditation can be great if your mind is very active and you are someone who can stay still for a while, or maybe you need a more dynamic meditation because your body needs to move. And also we need to understand that um, you can be that same person. So maybe sometimes you are in the need of staying still. Sometimes you need to just stay put and sorry, just move around while you meditate. So you need a dynamic meditation, or you need to do some exercise or a walk, or listening to music or dancing. So it really depends on your kind of yeah. How do you work? How do you function? And again, sometimes it can be that for a while it works in one way, and in other times in another way. So also, if you're a sensitive person, you can feel overwhelmed by everything that is going around you, and you might want actually to do something that grounds you. So basically, you will need to do some activity, something that will put you in touch with your physical body, with your body, and also maybe you need to connect with the earth. You need to maybe connect with a body of water. Being inside the water helps a lot, being in a forest, but also moving so that you can also ground your energy. So it really it pays off a lot to really know yourself in this case. So good. The third theme for this month is communication speeding up. So basically, um, the contents of all kind of communications might be bursting with new information or new opportunities that you thought that you had already seen somehow, or new paths that you might have considered just vaguely in the beginning of the year, and now you're coming to some more real options or some solutions that you have not anticipated. This is an exciting time. So really stay open, stay grounded if this happens, because you will need then to choose. You will need to choose from all the options that are presented in front of you. Remember also that your body is your ally to guide you in this process, so you can feel any situation and weigh your choices. And if it feels right in your body, it is right for you. And if it's and then it will unfold. Maybe your body will not tell you the process, because that's not um, the, the role of the body, but it will tell you if it feels right. Doesn't matter if it really unfolds differently from what your mind tells you that it does, that it should have, but you need to trust your body. If it feels right for you, if it feels right in your body, if it feels good, if it feels open and calm or exciting, or yeah, any positive feeling that you have in your body when you imagine a situation or a person or a relationship, that's a good indication that you are aligned with your purpose. So now let's pass to our fourth theme, which is the letter that comes for us this month, the Hebrew letter that comes for us this month. So the name of the letter is called Reish. If you don't know it, just Google Reish and look at the symbol. So I will ask you just to have the symbol in front of you for the rest of this podcast if you can. If not, then come back to this podcast with that image in front of you, because it will help you. We have to remember also that the Hebrew letters are not just a symbol, they are vibration, they are information within the symbol. And so they are channels of consciousness that connects us with different aspects of the divine, and so it is important to acknowledge that so that we can take advantage of them. So with Reish, we move from the exile of the ego or the separation to to our inner world. So just basically what we were talking about in the point number 2. So we are moving from the exile and the separation we might feel when we are all the time in our outer self to the connection that we can feel when we connect with our inner world. So with Reish is also written the word Rosh, which means head. So we talk that being the head of, no, the director of something. So it means also that Reish helps us to be um, in connection and being an author and the director of the lead of our own life. So the inner self that I'm being connected with through Reish helps us to lead our best version of our life. Otherwise, when we live only through Yesod, so when we live only through the external part of ourselves, we are just led by what are the wants basically of the and the expectations of others, and so we can get lost very very easily. So we're going to meditate with Reish and to make it
Okay,
happen
so
and
we're
to
gonna
really
start
connect with the
this
energy of
meditation.
this month or
And
the
before
energy
we
that
start,
we
I will
need this
ask you
month
to
so
look
that
up
we
for
can come
some
back to
letters.
our inner world of
If you
Reish.
can
Just bear with
get
me,
an image
and
or
in a
Google an
few
image
seconds we are going to
of
start this meditation.
the Hebrew alphabet, you can then locate every letter. And the first letter is the letter Reish, Reish. The second letter is the letter Yod, is Y O D or Y U D, depends. Some people transliterate that in different ways. And the last letter is the letter Shin, which is Shin, as in Norway. Shin. So just have these images in front of you in the order that I mentioned them, because you're gonna need it, or at least you're gonna need to know them um, when we will go into the meditation. So I will ask you as usual, just sit up in a chair comfortably or in a sofa or wherever you are seated. You can do it on the floor as well. Just choose a position that feels comfortable for you at this moment. We're gonna inhale and exhale deeply a few times. You can feel your belly going up and down. And the first image that I'd like you to have is visualize yourself inside of a white light column coming from above and connecting the sky and going farther this column into the ground, going into the center of the earth and connecting into the crystalline center of the earth. And you are bathed in this white light, and you can feel the bridge of the celestial energies coming down through you and into the earth. And now imagine a Star of David you are inside of the Star of David, a gold Star of David, so two triangles uh, crossing to form in the center an hexagram. Just feel the force, the power of that Star of David, just like that, empty, but it's all around you and is golden in color. And you can feel in front of you, you can see in front of you another star the same way you are watching the one that you're in. But the background of this star is black. And we're going to imagine each of the letters that I just mentioned, and I will name that to you. So if you don't remember the way they look like, you can just open your eyes, look at the letter, and imagine that one by one. So in this black background with the golden star, we're going to see the Reish, and we're going to light up that as if it were a candle. We'll light up the letter on the top as if it were a candle. Then we imagine the smallest of all the letters, but the most potent, the seed, the letter Yod or Yud. And we light up that as a candle as well. And we see the flame flickering, shining, its beautiful light. And then last, we're going to see the letter Shin next to it. Remember, we are writing Hebrew from right to left. So we start Reish on the left, then in the middle goes Yod or Yud, and then it follows Shin. And Shin is also light up as a candle. We see all the three letters light up. And now we're going to unite the flames of the letters in one single white light. And as we do that, we just see that it starts ascending, and it will touch the top of the star, so the top tip of the star. And when it does, it illuminates with a very bright light the top of that star. And as if it were a mirror, our star, the star that we are in, the golden star we are in, will also light up the top as if it is transmitting the light to the top tip of our star. It's lighting up now, and that light is coming down from the tip of our star to the top of our heads. It's illuminating our brain, our head, and it's coming down, descending into our hearts. Feel that white light expanding. We feel that light coming down to our liver on the right side of your body, just under your ribs on the right side. And we're going to let it descend again into our sacrum. We are seeing that this light goes up again into our heart, again into our brain. We're going to allow it to shake, so to speak, between our hearts and our brain. So descending to our heart and coming up to our brains, and it's moving faster. Heart, brain, brain, heart, up and down, faster and faster, until it is expelled from the top of our heads like a shower of light of millions of tiny little drops of light that are illuminating our aura, our energy field, and it is impregnating our energy field with the information of Reish. And we are asking Reish to allow us to communicate with our inner self, to help us be the channel so that we can lead our life from our inner world. We can take a moment to connect also with everyone that is present in this meditation. Doesn't matter at what time. Just to connect, to make it stronger. And I'm going to give you a few seconds just to receive any information from your soul that is important to receive for you now. It might be, you might get images, you might get words, ideas. Just be open to the experience, or you might not have anything. But that doesn't mean that it's not working. Just breathe. If you fall asleep, doesn't matter. Remember that there's a part of you who's doing the work, and probably your conscious mind is not able to be present. Just trust the process. Okay. You can continue to this process if you want, but for this meditation, I will end up the meditation here. So come back to your current place. Start moving maybe your fingers, your hands, your feet, slowly, if you went really deep into it, and just open your eyes when you feel like it. If you are willing to go further and you already know how to meditate, you can go on your own and just finish when you feel that is the right time for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to this intuitive reading of the month of October. I hope you have a great month, and I see you very soon. Bye-bye.